Hello, Johnny.
Hello.
Welcome, one and all. Welcome to the Bad Game Hall of Fame. Welcome to Highlander, The Last of the MacLeods, Episode 2. This is the show in which we play Highlander, Last of the MacLeods. One of, if not the worst game we've played on here in quite a while. Despite what people say, despite people's personal opinions on the game, we're here to invalidate those. We're here to say that your subjective opinions are incorrect, actually, and that this game sucks. And that's our duty, and we perform it. Not so gladly, because it means we have to play the game to confirm these facts. But hopefully, it all ends tonight. Hopefully, there's not much more of this left. Thank God we don't have an entire trilogy of these games to contend with. We'll get into some details that have been unearthed in just a little bit. But first of all, let me just say that usually when we're a co-host down, when someone who's supposed to be on the show isn't, we come up with some sort of joke excuse for them, try to, pardon away their absence. We're not going to do that today. This is very serious, and I want to pay it the proper due. Charky would be here tonight, if not for the fact that they got their head chopped off. And they're going to be okay, but they're going to need some time to recuperate, obviously, so it's no laughing matter, and I would appreciate everyone, giving them the time and space to regrow all the veins and muscle in their neck, or however that process works. Stupid. So Johnny, what were we doing in this game where we last left off?
Oh, well, I know where we last left off, which was meandering around a canyon area.
The
but
Whistling
in terms
Canyons. Yeah.
But what we were doing, I don't know, fulfilling our destiny, setting the Scots free, something like that.
Well, that's a worthy cause at the very least. Fuck, I watched the first episode of Highlander, the animated series.
Oh.
That show fucking sucks.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of and someone made this point of comparison, like the 90s X-Men animation, which I also think is not great. It reminds me more of the Spider-Man animated series from the 90s, because it moves at a mile a minute. They're cramming so much shit, and it is shit, into such a short amount of time. Except here the animation is way worse, and none of the characters are compelling. And also, it's just really bad storytelling all around. I can see why they adapted it into a video game.
Yeah. I mean, they adapted one episode into a video game.
Yeah, and it's a bad episode. And I struggle to imagine, to conceive of how future episodes or how future installments in this planned trilogy could possibly have been any better. I struggle to think of how they could have been worse. We're already dealing with the bottom of the barrel here. Tiger Chimera says, remember, that cartoon was the first animated series from the studio. I hope it was their last. Well, we might as well get into it. We can only stall so long when it comes to this. We don't even have a stream snack segment to cut to, so let's just get into the game. Again, we are launching this courtesy of a Big P Emu, the only functional Atari Jaguar and Jaguar CD emulator on the market. Thank you, Rich Whitehouse, who did responded to some posting we were doing to say that they have not yet finished playing through this game, but they are doing so during toilet runs, which is appropriate, I believe. So, Rich, if you're watching this, don't worry, we'll finish it for you. just take our playthrough to be your compatibility test or what have you. I know we have a hard save in place, but I think we were leveraging save states past a certain point. So we'll just go ahead and load our save state and get thrown into the middle of this once again. Yep, sure enough.
Oh, yeah, we got our chicken.
Nope.
Ah, just like I remember.
Well, folks. Let's watch this animation play out. Why don't we? Because, you know, we're gonna see it so many times, have to skip it so many times, we might as well play it proper once. Please put us out of our misery. Really love the sound effects in this cutscene too.
And
thus passed
excuse
away.
me, taking advantage of that CD.
And with him went the hopes and dreams of the Jettators, and the last chance for the salvation of the human race. Although I suppose we could always wait 7 centuries for another immortal to be born.
Yeah, but we just wait 7 seconds to load save again. Okay. Right, we are using the rubber chicken. Yeah. Most powerful weapon in the game, the Easter egg weapon.
There we go.
Oh.
Alright.
That's something on the ground. You can tell because it's a handful of pixels.
Yeah. Give me... Hang on, let's see. I want to make sure we're going the right way. Yeah, I think you want to go left from here. Yeah, we'll get into some of the extra stuff we found out, but we were particularly lost here.
Yeah, this canyon sucks and is emblematic of why this game is so poorly designed. Just like the absolute wrong decisions being made at every possible conceivable turn here, in terms of a fixed camera, melee centric game.
Yeah.
By the way, can I just say that the amount of people who've come out to try and defend this game has been unreal. People trying to say that this was at all impressive for the time when Alone in the Dark came out in 1992 and looks and plays a million times better than this. Come on, people. Like, I get that you bought a Jaguar and then a Jaguar CD in 1995 and that you're still trying to justify that purchase like 30 years later, but come on. I mean, look at this. We're doing melee combat, and we're this zoomed out. Like, in what universe? Oh my god, I'm going to die. Ah! And remember, you're supposed to be able to, like, dodge in this game.
Yeah, does the chicken not have the forward A attack, like the sword had?
It has that.
Yeah.
Oh! A 3-point turn in 4 camera angles.
Yeah. I could potentially see that the sword might be better for some encounters just because that attack seemed to stun lock enemies.
Yeah, but this rubber chicken 2-hit kills people for the most part, so... Slime Generator in chat says, I mean, have you ever played a game that had this many camera angles before? Touche. They added to Touche. I did not...
Yeah, I mean, I speculated a bit on it last time, but I do always wonder the perspective of, like, was this people's first exposure to this style of game? And that does a lot of heavy lifting for them, for their appreciation of it.
I guess.
Again, like, the best, you know, fully playing devil's advocate, if you just look purely at the time, this would have been the first one of these on a console. And maybe that's specifically what some people like. I'm not saying I would agree with it, but that's
don't get how anyone could get over the gameplay being so wretched, so ill-conceived, and it is wretched and ill-conceived. I'm assuming we keep going this way, and we absolutely need this guidance for this because this area is a nightmare of wide open spaces, camera angles that all look completely identical to one another. A complete lack of map function in-game to facilitate anything even remotely.
Yeah. Okay. Alright. Oh, I know there's some linear stuff here, so while we're doing that... So yes, we do have some more behind-the-scene info. We have this article from Arcade Attack, where they have an interview with Stephen Mitchell, who worked with Law/Atari, and was one of the developers on this game. And some of the things that came up, which was some stuff that was, I think, speculated last time, was that, yes, this did not start out as a Jaguar CD game. Apparently it started out as a one-on-one fighting game.
On cartridge, for Jaguar still,
Yes.
because that's where Lore Design was getting their bills paid. But,
and some other stuff that was speculated, that they did not get the Jaguar CD like dev kit until quite late in development. The thing I find funny is that, yes, this was based on the first episode of the animation, but they only had early materials when they were in production. So they didn't actually have the episode to go off. So
Jesus wept. I guess that explains.
Yeah, so
a big plot point in this is rescuing your little kid sister. In the
Yeah.
animated show, that is not a factor. She is just with Quentin,
Yeah.
our protagonist, throughout the entirety. What is that?
No,
Come on,
turn-
fuck off with
yes.
this camera angle. Look at this shit.
Yeah, in the long play, I was waiting for. There are some real wacky ones here. You want to actually go towards this cliff wall here.
This cliff wall?
The one. Yeah.
Don't worry, it'll take me a couple years, but
Yeah,
I'll
there'll
get there.
be one more camera cut. Oh no, never mind. Sorry.
Never mind what? Tell me. Never mind what, Johnny? Don't tell me you sent me the wrong way.
I should have skipped through. I don't. Maybe there's a piece of cheese you can pick up over there. We might have picked it up already though.
So begins the long trek back, the voyage home. These environments have to be this big. I mean, I'm just. Again, they mention it, like, I think he mentions it briefly, that like, one of the mistakes they made in this was having two big environments that they should have focused on.
I wanted to quote that specifically. Quote, it was hard to play a game with fixed camera positions in wide open spaces. The format would have worked much better in tighter outside spaces and compact interiors with a single camera.
You don't
Shooting or
fucking
attacking-
say! No, you don't say! Oh,
Yeah.
perish the thought!
But I mean, it's yeah, okay. So yes, this is progress. But it's, if you're ever in doubt, do developers, were they fully aware of the issues of a game before they released it? It's like most of the time, yes, they are.
I mean, that could be a
100%
hindsight thing. I mean,
Could be.
to recognize that in real time during development they could have literally cut screens from the game, and they should have. Who gives a fuck about, like,
Well,
the map like being
'cause
realistic
that's-
and
Well, that's two separate issues, because there's the camera angles that are really wide. And then there's just the weird cuts where obviously they wanted to bring the camera in closer, but then the direction's confusing.
Speaking of confusing,
Like- Yeah. I mean, look, I'll disagree on the whole one camera thing, because Resident Evil proved you can do interior camera. Like, this is just bad camera placement with these, and like bad triggers for where the camera cuts are.
do not let anyone open the gate without proper authorization. Iraq, eternal power to Cordan.
Let me double check.
Don't mind if I do.
Okay, and this was referenced earlier, but the main bit of info gleaned from this was that apparently at least 2 more sequels were planned based on different episodes that were, as mentioned by Stephen Mitchell, they were influenced by Alone in the Dark, similar to the sequels to that, where it's like the same engine, just with like new environments and enemies. And apparently they did get some way through development, but hadn't gone to QA. And interestingly, when asked if there's any chance that someone has these versions of the game, the response was no comment. So, who knows? We might one day live in a world where Hidden Palace will announce episodes 2 and 3
God, I hope
of
not.
Highlander will be playable.
Oh, of course. They have the note about the heavy gate and not opening the gate without authorization. So let's go open this random door in this random other section of the map. This will probably lead us eventually to.
Yeah.
Also, look how bad those cactuses look. I'm assuming those are cactuses.
Yeah.
Hideous. This feels like a good place to do a hard save.
Oh yeah. Oh, and one more thing that I found interesting is apparently they did at one point have a more realistic texture mapped protagonist and design for the game. But apparently there was a mandate with the license holder that it had to look somewhat like the animated show. So it got turned down, so that's why it looks like this, apparently. Oh.
Man, the rubber chicken really did save our necks there, I must confess.
Yeah. Human music.
Subdue the Highlander and bring him to me, Cortan.
I don't know how much Stephen Mitchell would have known. I do wish someone had asked about the music, though. Just, like, why is there so little of it?
It's a mood piece. There's been some comments in chat. Maybe read a few of them that we've, Oh.
Let's see.
Oh my god, we really did need to pay attention to those stupid... But, like, what order are they supposed to be in? Nothing... Well, we have to do, there's probably, like, what, like 7 different combinations here, so... Oh, wait.
Okay. I do know the solution. Okay.
Maybe
so
not.
lower the... Yep. No. Keep that up one. Yeah, you want it semi-shoved. And then this one down a bit. The blue one down a bit.
Oh, the blue one down a bit, but the green one maxed out?
Yeah,
and
maxed out
pray
green.
tell, how would you solve this in the actual game?
Yeah, no, and then there's that bar on the bottom. Is that what it is? Oh no, don't tell me this is randomized.
What is this? I know that each of the previous domes had, like, you know, a shape, like a red, a green, a blue, but that doesn't...
Yeah, let me...
They had shapes, they didn't have, like, levels. Would they expect a player here to solve this puzzle to go back to each of those individual domes that are 10 minutes apart from one another in this vast open desert with all the enemies dead at this point, except for ones who can shoot you that you can't fight back with, against? So they expect you just to go back and to double check all those things and be like, oh, I should probably have taken notes here. Is that what they want? Is that what they expected?
Let's see.
Great close-up shot on our hero, by the way.
Yeah, oh, yep. The setting of the control panel are randomized for every game. When you visit the Free Canyon Guard turrets, you should have noted down the color and position of the control panel there. And if this game had an actual decent map, that might have been more tenable.
How do you confirm your inputs? We're just gonna brute force this.
Yeah, in the video it just looks like the hand disappears, but you'll know when you've done it right because a cutscene will trigger. But like, it takes so long to travel around this map.
Yeah, no, it's nightmarishly stupid.
And this is the first time we've had a puzzle like this. So it's not like the player's been conditioned to
be observant in any sort of way.
Note stuff down. Yeah, or any sort of text when you know, because you can't really examine objects and get text that often. You can a little bit.
Tiger Chimera says, if it's randomized, I'm checking the VOD. Blue is empty, they say.
Oh, you know, smart idea.
No, so clearly players back in the day would have had to consult their fucking VHS tapes, the recordings of the game. Green is full, which means red can be one of 3 possible settings.
If they're... Well, I wonder if
it doesn't auto-solve.
Different.
Oh, I accidentally pressed left. Can you believe this, folks? Hi, I'm Quentin MacLeod. You're probably wondering how I got here. Horrible. Such a cruel, needlessly cruel.
Yeah.
There were some lines in that that interview that I disagree with. There was red is empty, green is full, blue is empty. No siree, Bob. Like, if this is supposed to trigger just automatically, then...
Yeah. All I can say from the video of someone beating this puzzle is once they've got it right, their hand just goes to the middle and then it just goes down. So I don't know if they're pressing a button. I mean, there's only so many buttons.
I move the hand down and I press the button. And it just kicks you out. Let me try it like this. Let me see if empty actually means minimal. No. This is obscene. How about I try part way full?
In short time, your fate will be
Thanks.
sealed, Superman.
How about I try?
So wait. So how many? It's empty.
I'm going to go back and look at one of them so I can see what these look like and also demonstrate for the audience at home, just again, how nightmarishly fucking awful this entire game is.
Did you put a save state in that room?
Oh, yeah, I put it right outside of it, but that was also pre-fight.
Okay. I'm just saying so we don't have to trek back.
Yeah, I'll load the save state for that when the time comes. In the meantime, I'm not even going to fast forward. I'm going to make people watch. I'm going to make people sit through this. I'm going to make them sit through us walking back all the way, navigating this nightmare desert. Count the camera cuts. If you want a game to play at home, if you want something to do the pass of time, count how many camera cuts it takes us to get from there to anywhere of notes here. I want to open up the interview so I can find the issue, so I can find the lines I took issue with, because I don't think this guy is telling the whole truth. I think this guy is also a little fucking delusional. Tiger Chimera is going to post the screenshots to the Discord, which is much appreciated.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I still want to demonstrate, I still want to show, for the benefit of folk, for anyone who might still have any lingering appreciation for this game, what needs to be done here. You know, you might as well just read the whole interview for me. You know, at this point, we got time to kill.
Oh, alright, okay. Well, I'll go specifically to the Highlander-based stuff, because there's other stuff about Kung Fu and working on the links. So... Question, moving on to your Atari Jaguar work, what was the original idea for Highlander? Was the original idea for Highlander going to be a one-on-one fighting game? And if so, how far was this concept in development before you changed the direction of the game? Stephen Mitchell replies, yes, a cartridge one-on-one fighter. However, the change happened early on. Little more than background art had been created at that early stage. The producer had seen Alone in the Dark, and that appeared to lend itself to a new drive they were planning to add to allow CDs to be used instead of cartridges, as you could add a lot more pretty pre-rendered and textured content. Jaguar had shading, but minimal texturing capacity in 3D. A CD mechanism will allow you to have more memory and use pre-rendering. The game, however, became totally different with this new direction.
That's all well and fine. I can understand that. I can understand the need to pivot. They should have stuck with the one-on-one fighting game. You know, benefit of hindsight. But you can understand that, especially if Atari were the ones to say, hey, look, we have this add-on coming out. Fucking, you know, we need something for it. You're some of our go-to guys in terms of, you know, you've supported the links. Will you support us on the Jaguar? And will you support this fucking CD peripheral? Sure.
Let's see. Just finding specific quotes to touch on the stuff I haven't mentioned yet. So they do ask them, why does the box art not use the cartoon? And I guess it's speculation, but I imagine the idea was to show the pre-rendered texture mapping was the new thing in games at the time.
Well,
I'm not quite sure
that's a bad
how the
answer.
box art has anything to do with that. Yeah,
the box art is some key art of Quentin and Ramirez holding the Highlander sword. Is this the first time we've seen this map, by the way? I don't think it is, but I'll double check it.
No. Yeah.
And then there is
it's
a
one of the better
tiny-ass
maps, yeah.
screenshot. There is a tiny thumbnail-sized screenshot of the game of just like some random open environment that looks like fucking dog shit. I think it's like the start. I think it's the first screen of the game, literally, and so you can barely make out the characters in it because it's just a wide open space. And I guess that was what they meant by trying to show off the pre-rendered backgrounds. But dumb question, dumb answer that misses the point of the.
Yeah, not that I'd expect him to necessarily know. That might have been completely outside of the stuff he worked on. Yeah, someone asked, apparently, yeah, can you explain how the chicken god mode came about, and are there any other Easter eggs? Well, testing is easier with a god mode.
Yeah,
I
it sure
suppose
is.
people remember games for their Easter eggs. If Atari QA had asked for it to be removed, it would have been left out. Which, to me, sounds like they just didn't find it or check.
No, of course not. That Atari notoriously was not like.
Okay, I think I found the quote.
Lay it on me.
Okay, so question. Previews and then reviews praised the high resolution, high color backdrops, motion capture used, animated intro, and the use of C buffering for Highlander, but tore the gameplay apart. Do you feel the game was harshly judged? And then the answer, and I mentioned this earlier, it was hard to play a game with fixed camera positions and wide open spaces. The format would have worked better in tighter outside areas and compact interiors with a single camera.
Absolutely.
Shooting or attacking someone in third person when flipping between two fixed cameras. And like, yeah, I think that's a half truth, because again, if you just make your camera cut position smart, like Res Evil 1 does,
Yeah,
you don't have that issue. But also, you know, like Resident Evil, I think intentionally likes to do the thing of putting enemies behind camera cuts that you can't see, and it always feels a little cheap. So, you know, it's give or take there. Okay, continuing the quote. As an early game of its type, it has faced some criticism. But then again, I play Call of Duty in campaign mode, and it's pretty and it's loud, but am I really playing a game? Perhaps first-person shooters work best when playing with other people. I think Highlander might well have had better gameplay reviews as a two-player fighting arcade-style fighting game. But you'd have to turn back the clock to the mid-90s to find out, and it would have been a much smaller scale of game. In the end, it was an adventurous format and probably would have improved significantly over iteration. Not alliteration, that's different.
the gall of this motherfucker, the absolute unrepentant gall to condemn Call of Duty as not, like, am I really playing a game? You know, it looks nice, it feels pretty. Yeah, dude, yeah, it is a video game. Like, say what you will about Call of Duty, but it's a fucking video game. You have control over a character, there's challenge, there's design. You know, design, the thing where you make conscientious decisions and have to plot out your levels. Something that wasn't done in this game. This game was just kind of freeform, like Jazz, when they came up with these fucking environments and figured out, like, you know, what the path along the game would be. This is very scenic, I'll give it that much. You definitely do a lot of tourism in these fucking canyons and shit. We're finally arriving towards one of these fucking places. You know, the guy's right. This is gameplay. What right here, backtracking for 15 minutes so you can see one of the three shapes that you would need to look at in order to come to a determination as to solve a puzzle, the only one of its kind in the game. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, this is cool and great. Yeah, so can I interact with this at all? Can I get a close-up view? Is this all we're gonna fucking get here? Is that supposed to be full? Is that empty?
That's okay. That's the thing. Yeah, it does look. It's such a dark green that it could be either.
Tiger Chimera also posted the screenshots in the Discord, which I've looked at, and if you ask me, they all look fucking empty. So
also, yeah, there's also the shape. Does the shape matter? Some people are speculating is it matching the shape to the heights based on edges or vertices?
It may be. That must be it. Okay. Let's try it like this. I'm going to spare people going all the way back.
Yeah. I'm going to call out that game FAQ because they do not explain that's what the actual puzzle is. They're just like, yeah, solve it. It's different every time.
Solve my maze.
Nice.
Thank you, Tiger Chimera, one of our regulars.
Yes, thank you very
someone
much.
who
Yeah.
is trying to keep the show moving along, which I always appreciate from our audience. And folks, join the Discord, discord.gg/bghof. Okay. So red is triangle. Let's try. I'm gonna try this like this. Triangle. I'm gonna say 2, 3.
Yeah.
Circle. Not. Oh, I accidentally pressed right too many times.
Oh.
Here, let me just back up
Okay, that's
into
what's
it.
happening.
1, 2. Let's max out green. Try 1 there. And I think you do need to go down and hit confirm, too. I think that is the way you submit.
That's
your
close. I
answer.
think. Yeah, I think you want blue empty.
You're thinking blue just completely empty?
Yeah, because there's only 4 values.
Well, what would a one-sided shape... I guess that's a circle. I guess that's...
Yeah.
Wait, I have a really stupid idea.
Might actually be the smart idea. Who knows?
Frank
is
Gothic
it-
asking, can we change the shape on these? No.
Yeah, this is the only input you have.
Ah!
Okay, what was it?
Everything
I'm
empty.
stumped. Yep, but why? Is it just badly colored?
I think it's just badly colored. I think it's supposed to be the bars.
We have to find the
Why
answer
is the
by
texture
ourselves.
underneath green?
Say something nice. Eventually this game ends. They didn't make a procedurally generated game. So it's good that there is like a concrete end, so you know, like,
Well, yeah, well, you know, unlike Call of Duty, you actually play this one. So.
Shut up. Is there another line after the... Oh,
Let's wait here until nightfall. Then it'll be
No, I read that whole bit.
desert to Magonda.
thanks, Chief. Oh,
MacLeod, you go to do Gauntlet.
I will say, thank God for the rubber chicken. The Favellas? Oh my God, I see why they're mad at Call of Duty now, because Modern Warfare 2 totally ripped them off by having a Favellas level. You know, best map I've seen so far in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Tiger Man said, well, it is the first episode's plot, so of course it's not going to nicely tie up at the end. You've seen it, and I think I did see a little bit of this first episode in the Discord. Is this really the first episode's plot? Because...
No, it's a very loose
Yeah.
adaptation. You could say that about it, I suppose.
Like,
I-
you,
let's
yeah,
do
you
a hard
start off
save
in the
here.
village, and that's the only bit I saw that was similar.
These sewers, I think, are leading us to the conclusion of the first episode. We'll see if we run into that other janitor.
Yeah.
That's another essential component of the first episode. Can you play this for a minute?
Oh, yeah.
Remember, press
I can try at least.
select to unpause. I just want to double check this. No.
But why is that happening?
Why is what happening? You're just stuck walking perpetually backwards?
Mm-hmm. And that's even if I, like, tab out of the
Yeah, your
window.
controller's been fucking weird. I think your controller is busted, because when you log into Parsec, it reads a down input that just fucks you up.
It might be me. I might have...
Unplug your controller and replug it in, while Quentin gets his steps in, his backward steps.
I might be a bit too eager with pressing buttons and sticks.
Yeah, there's some more on reading this interview. There's a bit more on like the what you call it, the unfinished versions of Highlander 2 and 3, episodes 2 and 3. So the interviewer asks, "Are you a fan of the Highlander films and the animated series, and do you feel it's a franchise that should be brought back?" Stephen Mitchell answers, love the original film. Not so sure the animated series was as strong. I'd be surprised if it's not already a made-for-Netflix TV series.
There's no such
I'll look
thing
next
as a
time I
second
switch
chance.
on my TV. They ask about a Batman, Jaguar.
Do you know what
game.
I think it is?
What?
I think I've got what you bound for Sharky.
That shouldn't be the case.
Because it's the analog stick that is controlling movement. And I only map to the D-pad.
Well,
Like,
I need you to unplug
I
your
want-
controller because you're making it impossible for me to menu with whatever you did to your controller.
Oh,
I guess
that's the
I guess
thing,
you're
I'm
not
not-
playing tonight.
I have unplugged though. So it must not be me. No, well, that wouldn't make sense though.
Well, it is absolutely 1000% unequivocally you because we weren't walking backwards when I was playing the game earlier.
Wait. No, it's definitely not me. I had to
Okay.
double check my
USB
Guitar Hero controller wasn't plugged in.
Yep, controller for Xbox 360 is plugged in and giving inputs. And that can
Well,
only
I've definitely
be you.
unplugged.
Close out of Parsec or disconnect from Parsec.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, what do you know? It fixed it.
Okay, I guess Parsec just doesn't recognize.
Love to solve these mid-show. Okay. So I guess I'm not going to read any more of the interview. I guess I'm going to have to. Can you reread the bit about...
No. Well, I'm good. Look.
Okay, you're controlling?
Yeah.
That's you? Okay.
Which way did you come from, by the way?
The right-hand side.
Okay.
Okay. There's a line I wanted to hone in on here. Remember, you have to try a running jump, but also hard save if you're going to do this. Because God knows what's going to happen if you fall down. C button, then you got to use select. No. Nope. That's select button. Select button. Then you use
That's
select
A for me.
That's A for you is the select button?
Oh, no, that's the X button for some reason.
What am I doing here? Awesome menus, by the way, again. Okay. So, with all that out of the way, a line I'm going to hone in on. The games sometimes get criticism for the three-dimensional polygon models of the characters. Was the game finished, or was this a game that was rushed out to production? This is the key thing I want to hone in on. Steve Mitchell's answer. We had very little time. The CD development systems did not show up until shortly before the game was due to be completed. Had we just made a cartridge fighting game, it would have been much more straightforward, but the CD system needed titles, so we had to push that format. A lot of people worked very hard to get the technology to work. Okay. So what they're trying to do here is trying to say, like, oh, don't be mad at us. We didn't have enough time. They only sent us the CD kit so late in development. This game doesn't leverage the CD hardware at all. Yeah, great jump, by the way. Except for the cutscenes. It's clear that this game, as it stands, as like the core gameplay, would have ran on cartridge without any fucking issue whatsoever. Oh my god, look at this guy! Now, that's a backwards attack you're doing there. Try any other attack.
Mangus! Is this the Highlander? Wait 7 centuries, then lose him in a flash? Madness! He's not ready. He's a mere child.
Seamless. This definitely matches what we were doing.
By the way, these cutscenes, copyright city, so...
The hunters captured them this morning.
This morning, you say? That means they're not in the energy complex yet.
Can you take us there, Mangus?
Doesn't matter if we talk over them or not, because it's audio-visual content.
Yeah.
Cannot enter the
And
city
sadly,
to fight Cortan.
this compression doesn't help.
The way through the sewers.
Wait, where's the guy we just talked to? Who's this guy? What's going on? Why did... Strange way to handle all that, but hey, at least that answers the question if it follows the plot of the episode at all. We do find that jetter, so that's nice. Yeah, you better take that by pressing the select button. Oh, great, a map of the sewers. Awesome. Definitely take that in case we need it. I would almost say, like, backtrack back to the Favellas area, because there's probably going to be shit we need there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So back the way you came. we had very little time. The CD developments did not show up. They could have worked on it in cartridge capacity, and it wouldn't have made any fucking difference. Yeah, rushed games. It's tough to rush a game. You know, you feel for the people doing crunch, but this game's issue is not the result of rush. It's the result of underthinking. It's a result of just a complete lack of design understanding, an understanding of like how a 3D world should function. It's the complete lack of respect for a player's time, like the complete just this lack of any like direction here. And I don't care if you have 2 weeks to make a full fucking video game or 2 months or 2 years. There are certain game design things, there are certain aspects of development that are just evident from the output, no matter how rushed it is. Well, not that far back.
You finally made it, friends.
Thank you, Arbitrary Water, for the raid. Don't mind us. We are just slogging through Highlander, Last of the MacLeods. Please, no steppy on the grass.
I really can't figure out if there's actually anything over here or not.
It's impossible to tell because the camera angles are so fucking lovely in this. Because it's so well designed. Because they had the brilliant idea to do a fixed camera game, but have the camera be a mile away from you in every fucking shot. Okay, I'm closing out of that interview for now. Like, okay, I'll grant this, because I've been, like, vehemently negative, and I'm shitting on the developers, the hard-working developers of this game. I
don't think there's anything here.
Yeah, then just keep going the way we were going initially. You know, give infinite number of monkeys, an infinite number of typewriters, an infinite time, and they'll eventually...
Well, it's good we saw that.
Wonderful
We got late jumps, though.
Did I just take off, like, half our health? Was that the consequence for that?
No, I think that's the health I was at.
So no punishment, then?
Unless I just wasn't paying attention. It was good.
I'm glad that even in their infinite stupidity, they understood, oh yeah, the platforming in this is going to be fucking rotten. Don't punish them if they fall through the cracks here. Now, we could just not have holes in the bridge.
Guide you into the city through the sewer system. Once you are inside, Ramirez must plant a bomb to disable the grinders.
And I must head to the prison and rescue the Dundees.
Yes, young Highlander. And I will pay a visit to our old friend Cortan.
Well, at least this is a real video game, because it has a sewer level.
No bomb in the original episode. They just all jump through the fans there.
Now this is a faraway camera.
Oh my god, are we going to hear this for the foreseeable future?
What's the name of that? What's it, Frank? Is it Frank Zappa album? The machine noise one?
Metal Machine music? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, save here. How are you meant to solve this, I wonder? I guess you're gonna run through it at the right time.
Nothing can stop this grinder. But every 4 seconds, when the blades are opposite to each other,
Oh, some of that audio is taken from the actual cartoon.
Yes, this is.
the other side.
Yeah, but the thudding sound.
Get cut up. Oh wow, what a
By
consequence.
the
for-
way, after that cutscene happened, I wasn't pressing any buttons. That was just him moving on his own.
Wow, this is brutal.
Oh no!
All right, skip the cutscene, and then don't walk into the blades until
Yeah.
try sprinting through them. Try to time this just right. Maybe jump through them.
Oh, you do have to jump, I think. Okay.
Again, this game not so bad compared to contemporaries on the market, right? No, this is cool actually.
Okay, no, I guess you don't jump. Hang on. No, you don't go into the wall, though. Did I misunderstand what the cutscene was saying?
No, there's supposed to be like a force, like a fourth of a second. They said to.
Whippy! No, I can just make him skip.
You're not taking damage there, so I think you're in the wrong spot. No, now you are. Great. I love how there's not even a death animation. You know, even Star Wars Episode 1 on the PS1 had you getting dismembered when Obi-Wan falls into fan blades. Okay.
Yeah, see if you can figure this out. Oh, if only.
Okay, I'm gonna do my bare hands, just so I can reliably know like what the animations are gonna be. Wait for it. Moment of opportunity. Just keep trying. Nada. Yeah, they said that what's-his-face, Ramirez was going to plant bombs, but that's not what happens in the episode, and that's also not what the...
Okay. Yeah, do me a favor, go back, as in backwards progress.
Dear God. Wait, hold on. I am head full. What if it's literally blocked until you use the stopwatch you picked up? You forgot we picked up the stopwatch. Examine an ancient device for measuring the passage of time. Right, I forgot this game takes place in like a post-apocalyptic future.
Oh.
Yep, here we are.
Okay, so the thing I was trying to check is for some reason in the long play, they came from the other side. And I was trying to figure out how they got over there.
Wait, why did it re-equip my chicken? Oh wait, no, I never took it off in this timeline, this reality, that's right. Don't mind me. Wow.
That doesn't make any sense. Whatever.
Wow, they really loaded the back half of this game with fucking endless cutscenes in place of gameplay.
Excellent.
Also, I have to say, reviewers being like, "Oh yeah, it's got cutscenes. That's cool." Like, it's not like they made them for the game or anything. That's not.
Much easier this.
That's not a plus on the game. I do love this guy's design though.
You're scared, Cortez.
Wonderful cutting there too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna investigate this side. Surely they put this railing over here, so surely there's gonna be something to this, and not just
no. From what I can see, it might depend on how you walk through the camera cut that takes you to this area. You can start on the other side for some reason. You gonna see if you can backtrack from here?
Now we only see him land on the other side. He could like go into pieces on the other side in the cartoon, for all you know. Could get dismembered on the other end. I am just going this way because I am expecting there to be absolutely nothing. I'm expecting him to have rendered all this, and then there would be like maybe a piece of bread.
Like I said, no. In the long play, you'll see this next camera cut, right? Is where this is how we got into the area. For some reason in the long play, they started. Oh, I see. There's 2 exits.
To what end?
Well, if you want to go on the other side. I was trying to figure out how the long play got to the other side, and I guess it was
again. This game was not designed by humans. This game wasn't designed. I don't care how fucking rushed they were. This is just like the product of idiots. It's like this is just stupid.
The thing I would love to know is how much coordination there was between getting these shots for the pre-rendered background and the design. Like if someone was just like, okay, I'll make these 3D environments, here's a bunch of images, and then they had to try and stitch something together.
That's the story of this fucking game. I need to drink. Wine, some cheese without wine. You know, fuck it. Get some bread too. Get our carbs in.
And yeah, because that's the thing I want to say about the developer comments about the camera and things like that, is that, you know, Alone in the Dark
Did this
does
better!
play... Yeah, it plays in a similar way. It's still, you know, 3D, you know, tank controls, with this kind of beat-em-up combat. I think it's a more simplified system. And I'm not gonna say it's a great system. Like I don't think most people.
Compared
play
to
the game
this,
nowadays.
it's the best that's ever been. It's the best that video games have ever done.
Oh, we're in that pipeway level from Mario Kart.
I'm gonna do a hard save here.
Yeah. I will say I do think the bar mapping for me for some reason is not right.
Slime Generator says the developers of this game probably communicated with each other through riddles, which
Yeah.
How big is a canyon if there's no one around to wander it? Does the sound of the whistling echo through the halls of eternity?
And admittedly, I've not played them, but I've always wanted to go and try them out. But Onimusha, you know, did fix camera melee combat as well.
Yes.
Like you just have to be good about where your camera cuts are and the layout rooms and things like that.
Ooh, the frame rate's slowing down here. I bet there's an enemy around the corner. Oh, how did I know?
Okay. I'm not entirely sure. I think the guy in the orange jumpsuit was supposed to be that guy with the eye patch in the cutscene.
No, because that's a janitor. That's supposed to be like a good guy, and his body's just there. We left his body behind.
I know. Yeah. Well, I know, but the design, because he had the red hat.
But he also had a robot arm.
Well, yeah, but
whatever that's
look at
worth.
the level of detail they're working with.
Okay, so there's a control panel over there. Maybe we'll come back with a key or key card of some sort.
Yeah. I love we're literally in, like, Mario pipes.
Ba-na-na-na-na-na.
Like, if the 90s movie had been the original script, this is what it would have looked like. This would have been a scene. Also, this bit now, it feels like you're in the bizarre version of like one of the Mako reactors at the start of Final Fantasy VII.
God, just no idea like where progress is, whether we should be like backtracking, whether we've missed stuff. I'm sure we've missed stuff. But we'll go this way for now and just see where it leads.
Huh? That did not look like that led to that, but...
Okay. We must have to go back to open up that door.
I love the music in this game. I don't fucking know. I'll hold a note on my key. I'll just put some drum beats in.
Basketball. That's all I can see.
Oh, and
Quentin MacLeod will never be ballin'.
Okay, now it just looks like this background's taken from a different game. Though to be fair, that's probably because I've been rewatching the Edit Together intros video when I do my workouts. So I got to relive the journey of Limb of the Lost again.
Oh, great.
Ooh.
Another door with, like, some fucking weird mechanic attached to it, probably. This is gonna be cool. Maybe we can just brute force it. Who's to say? Maybe it uses the same system as before, and nope. So surely we must have to come back this way at some point or another. God, this is hideous, too. I mean, look at the color depth on this screen. It's pre-rendered. You had, like, access to colors when it came to these. Why didn't you use them? Another locked door.
Yeah.
So yet more backtracking.
Weirdly, it looked fine when it was in outdoor areas. I guess it just doesn't do these kind of industrial color schemes well.
Oh yeah, the outdoor areas were its
enough,
fucking strength. Yeah, that was like a real positive for the game. That's where it really shined. What are you talking about? It looked like dog shit there too.
Oh yeah, but it didn't have this color issue, I'm saying. I don't know enough about the Jaguar to say like what colors it could do.
It was 64 bits. Clearly, it could have done anything and everything.
Oh yeah, right, yeah. I didn't do the math. I'm sorry.
Yeah, get back to me when you've done the math, please. Yeah, I wonder why this system failed. I wonder why. I mean, I know why this system failed. It's not just for Highlander Last of the MacLeods.
Okay, so...
It's for a multitude of reasons. Oh. We found their dormitory.
Okay. I might have to rewatch this first episode again. But considering the sound effect in the fan area was a sound effect in the show, I'm starting to think a lot of this music was just someone finding the small parts of the show that just had music playing on their own, and they just cut those bits out and turn them into loops.
Oh my god, you might be right. And how fucked would that be? How stupid would you have to be to try that? When you have like, yeah, this is about like half a second worth of a sample. Yeah, I can make this work. I could do something with this.
Frank Gothic in chat calls this the Heavenly Dorm.
Tell me this is just a fucking map. Tell me this is just a...
Like, this sounds
the
like a
energy
fucking...
chamber. Ooh.
Yeah. Like, this one in particular sounds like a...
so useful! Oh, thank God.
Oh,
okay, you know what, Johnny? I know exactly where we are now. We're all good. There's the slave level. There's the holding cells, the central reactor, and the main energy conduits. And Hunter level 1. Can't wait to get to Hunter level 2.
I love a map when they have to crisscross the arrows pointing to things. Like this bit in particular sounds like a John Cage type beat. If you're not familiar with the seminal, or is it seminal? I'm not sure, with John Cage. Well, John Cage, it might be the other. If you're not familiar with his work, check out 433. One of the best songs of all time. If you ever heard the saying, listen to the notes they're not playing, you'll be a huge fan of that song, let me tell you.
Really cool. I'm glad they added this corner here. I'm glad that they wasted another like megabyte on the cartridge to have this part of the room here.
Oh, it's a CD. This is maybe a couple megs.
Oh yeah, you know what? You're right. I've seen some comments in chat. I know Frank Gothic is lazy to say. I think Cass is more thoroughly angry here than a Balin, and that was torture for them. Balin was... I was bemused by how bad that was at a certain point. I was finding the levity in it. This is pure hate. I don't remember who mentioned it earlier, but someone wanted to get a count for how many times I said this is the worst game we've played on the show. I don't think I said it that often. I think if you go back in the archives, if you watch the VODs, and please do, and turn ad block off too while you do it.
Oh, hello.
That you'll find that I don't often say this is the worst game we've ever played. I'll say a game is bad. I've been known to go on my tirades. I'm not saying I haven't, that I'm not prone to the occasional bit of, but this is, I think it is safe to say, I think when I say it in the context of this game, I think I am validated. I think I am... Oh my God,
I did not know
look at
you were
panel.
making progress there. I thought you were just running against, like, a wall.
Look at this. It's the same panel from before. The red, the green,
I'm so confused
because
you activate these by just walking into them, right?
Yeah, that's what I did before. Let me try using the keys.
Right, yeah.
What?
What?
No! That's not supposed to work!
Finally, you can escape the vault.
Why does that work? The thing was the straight up same panel from the fucking desert area. Why do you think they use a key here? You're supposed to walk into it, it's supposed to trigger. How do they have that inconsistent? There's been exactly one fucking puzzle in this game, and they forgot it existed when they... Oh my God. Why did that work? I was just doing that to be like, God, fuck these developers. Oh my God.
Look, maybe Kung Fu is really good.
No, it's not. I played it. It sucks.
Come on, it's on the links. How could it suck?
Yeah, you're right. I'm being too hard. Solve my maze. Say something nice. I don't know. I got nothing in the nice department. This is... I'm back to being bemused about it at this point. But I don't get me wrong.
Some of the soundscape could work if this was a horror game. Like an intentional horror game, I mean.
Well, you know, it's horrifying, all right. They got that part of it down to a science, down to a T.
Wait, is this a new area?
Yes, this is a new area that is using the exact same shots from before, so it would be absolutely in...
There we go.
Yeah.
Say something nice. The devs know how to reuse assets.
Thrifty. The developer's very thrifty with the... And look, he even has the same fucking useless corner again.
Hop along, Cassidy!
Come on, Cassidy, you need to use some lateral thinking with your locks and keys. That's what we're calling it now? Let's go this way.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, there's gun enemies in here! Oh my
yes.
god, get me out of here, get me out of here, get me the fuck out of here! Get me out of here! Oh. That's awesome. Just get shot by a dude you can't even fucking see. Just walk into room and immediately get like fucking iced.
That must be intentional, because there's been multiple setups where you enter a room and enemies off screen are shooting at you. It's happened like 3 or 4 times.
Cruel
so
and
I don't know how
unusual.
that is not intentional.
I can't believe that. That is so shitty. Again, I'm back on my fuck the people who made this game tip. I don't care how under the gun you were. I don't care how little time you had. You don't do a room like that unless you're an asshole.
Okay, this is good. I'm gonna do this real bad. I got a comment from Arbitrary Walder saying, "Hey, Swabad, I really like your Prince Galleon in a Alone in the Dark costume." I can't do Homestar. I can do Homestar. I can't do Homestar.
Oh, another lovely camera angle. How can I... I got stuck on something. I couldn't fucking move. Great, because I did a hard save instead of a quick save. I have to go through this shit again. Again, why have a continue option on the main menu? It's only the fucking main menu of the game. There's only an empty spot for it down at the bottom there.
Yeah, the menu design. We haven't touched on it a lot, but just the way we mentioned it in the first.
The way the menus are fucking hidden.
They're so strange. I don't know how it was programmed this way outside. I can't imagine any other Jaguar game is like this, so I can't imagine a technical reason. Hey,
we put our weapon away, so let's make sure we...
Oh, weird. Oh, right. When you load a save, you unequip everything.
I'm just going to equip the sword of the MacLeods.
Do you still have any of the guns? The gas guns?
I do, but they were worthless in that encounter. I tried to use one, and it didn't pan out. I mean, maybe I'll try it again if it comes down to it, but... Because this dude's behind grading, so I assume... Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah, no. We figured this out in part 1, that you can attack through walls and stuff like that.
Cool. Fuck off.
This is not the only, there's a lot of games like this in the bad game lexicon, but it's always fascinating to see games that have such a obvious direct point of inspiration, and we even have it confirmed from the developer it was Alone in the Dark, but everything that Alone in the Dark does right was not understood.
I can't find where I am. I don't know where am I. I'm walking into some obstacle I can't fucking see. Half the fucking screen is covered by a wall, but there's still fucking space behind there that I'm getting trapped on geometry.
Now, Arbitrary Ward asking, has this game in any way taken advantage of CD quality audio?
I mean, listen here.
Are you a big fan of 1 to 2 second long loops? Because,
I mean, feast your ears on this, baby. This is, Let me try going the other way around. Cool. You know what? Fuck it. Love the gun. The gun is good.
Like, when you really think of Alone in the Dark and you compare it to this, like, Alone in the Dark That was the first time anyone did anything like that. And they got camera angle stuff so much better than this game. This game had like multiple Alone in the Darks to take influence from, and they couldn't get it right.
I just want to thank our patrons again, our financial supporters, for voting for this game. I had wanted to play this for a while. I was genuinely interested to play this game, and for my sins, I was punished with a.
Hey, I do like that the chicken makes your spinning jump kick do more damage.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's one of the only worthwhile attacks in the game. That and the sword poke. Oh cool, another one of those gas guns. Do you think there's anything else in this room, or is it just that one guy and the key he dropped?
We've got this giant dummy that's the size... Look at the size of that thing.
Oh my god, please tell me the wall... Oh my god.
What? I can't even tell what you're walking into there.
Nothing. There's nothing here. This should just be empty space. And it was so important to have this pillar here and have that pillar be the fucking wall that was obscuring our view before, so you could have that empty fucking space behind it. Like, look at this. This is the pillar. It looks like a fucking a hallway, right? Yeah. And then it's just this, and there's nothing behind it. So they had to consciously be like, it'd be fun to put here. This is a column that fucking obscures your view and makes it fucking impossible to survive.
That literally makes me think that was a different layout. That's the geometry there. I can't follow it. We're getting into like Silent Hill, Nowhere Land, non-Euclidean design.
Like, this is the sort of shit that a parody game would do, except the parody game wouldn't be as mean. Well, they gave us some items there, so that's nice. Do you think these doors can be opened at all? Do you think that
it's worth a shot. I don't know if you have to walk over to the circles on the side specifically, though.
No, I'm gonna bet these are just dead ends, even though they look like doors and things that you should be hitting to progress. I'm gonna bet these are just completely fucking irrelevant. These are meant to be dead ends, but they tantalize you, make you think that there's something over there.
Oh, here's an interesting question from Arbitrary Border in chat. What is the Matt Hazard of survival horror tank control games?
There have been some parody tank control. There have been some parody survival horror type games.
I want to make one. I have one in my mind. I can't remember if I pitched this on the stream before, but it would control with 2 analog sticks, like an actual tank. So you would use the left stick to move your left leg
forward. That would be funny. Yeah, that would be.
And your right stick to right. Yeah. So basically, kind of like Katamari controls, but in a survival horror game.
I would say for an answer.
If you push the sticks in the opposite directions, you do the splits.
That fucking back in 1995, I think attempts to be funny in spots. I don't think it's a full-on parody. I think the game also sucks ass. Not to denigrate the work of a hardworking indie developer, but back in 1995 is one of the worst survival horror games I've ever fucking played. And I didn't much care for it. Your mileage may vary.
The closer I can... Well, it's not survival horror, but there was that... What's it called? House? It was a PlayStation 1 game, I think. That's supposed to be kind of a parody of adventure games. I remember, I think Sharky played in the Discord with a very rough fan translation.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just called House.
Or Home, or something like that.
I think it's 2 words. I think it's something, it's adjective home or adjective house. Welcome House, says Slime Generator, or something like that. I think Welcome House is it. I think they got it in one.
Yep. And yeah, I'm hopeful confirmed, yep.
Yeah, so I guess that is the correct answer. I guess that is objectively the correct answer to the query. That absolutely fits the bill for what you're looking for there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we didn't go this way.
Yeah, we got to try everything. We got to go everywhere.
Yeah. Okay, we got a map earlier. I don't think we got a map of this area, though, did we?
No, we did. We have a map of the sewers.
Oh.
This almost helps.
Yeah, kind of. God, and look at all this text they wrote. Like, you can tell that they actually did write something, but it's just so compressed.
That's the power of the Jaguar CD. Okay. So, if I'm reading that correctly, which I'm probably not, there's basically, like, 2 lanes. And then, the second lane here, this would lead us back to the beginning area, the beginning of this area, which I don't recall. Was there anything behind here? If this takes us straight to the fan room, then we're golden. If there's anything that I forgot between there and here, then doom on us. But I gotta double check. And if that means going down and back up these steps, then so be it.
Yeah, I'm also referencing the long play.
Okay, yeah, this just takes us back to the fan room. Okay. So I would think that everything we need is going to be on this side.
Okay. So I don't know which one it is. You remember the more grey area that had like a lot of those dead-end big doors?
Yeah.
So one of those, there's a small door we missed that was in a camera cut we didn't get.
Oh, cool. Awesome. I think we also need to go to the left relative to where we exit from here.
Mm-hmm.
And because we didn't use the key on that other panel for the other, there were like these big circular things on the map that I think are meant to represent like the swinging, the revolving pathways. So we're gonna go this way, and then right, and that's gonna spit us out back on the other lane, as I'm calling it. And from there we can bang our head against this some more. Frame rate's dropping again. You know what that means. That this one polygonal model is...
But yes, we are... I believe this is the right track.
Yep, so I'm going to use key number 1.
I'd be really curious if this cutscene is literally the other one flipped or not. Or if they did actually render it out with the layout flipped.
I love the smooth transition back into gameplay and the soundtrack. It's so lovely. Okay. Can't wait to walk through more identical gray rooms that we've seen like 4 times already here. Hey, you know what game that came out earlier had better cutscenes than this game? Had prettier looking cutscenes? Fucking Another World, Out of This World. No, that's fair to compare the two, except, you know, they're working with about the same quality of 3D model.
Let's see.
Maybe they shouldn't have gone for the 3D cutscenes. Okay. Maybe they should have done literally anything else. Yeah, hey, what do you know? It's the same fucking place over and over again.
Yeah. Whoa, what's that music?
There's a bomb ticking down somewhere. I hope it blows up soon and kills us all.
I do want to see someone make a...
Dead end. Dead end. Be a dead end. Be the same dead end. Yes!
I really want to see someone make an album using mostly samples from this game.
Metal Machine Music Part 2.
Seriously, what is... Okay, I'm curious. So I think there would have been a memo. If we haven't picked it up yet, maybe this guy drops it. Like a guard order. And it's a hint to how to get through that door.
It's Kooky Loopy Hour. This music is gonna drive me up the wall.
Oh yeah, but that door is progress.
Yeah, but I want to check these corners.
All right. Don't get lost now.
I'm beginning to think that the person who made the soundtrack for this was literally tone deaf, or just very bad at their job. If I was making like a joke game, straight up, I wouldn't think to do something this cruel and unusual. This viscerally unpleasant. It's so obvious that this sounds like shit. Would have been better off straight up with no music. Why did they do this?
Slime Generator says, I want to reiterate 3 different people / entities listed as working on the soundtrack for this. Yeah. It really feels like there's a bigger story of maybe the soundtrack was supposed to be more, but they didn't plan a disc space properly, so they're just like, oh,
maybe
just
it's an ancient Roman situation where there's this actual like beautiful music on the soundtrack, like that was meant to be in the game, but then they fucked up the translation of it too.
Yep.
Oh,
nope.
I bet I know what the solution to this is, even without that note.
Yay!
General power to Quarton.
I like the camera could even follow him smoothly there.
Are we still gonna be in uniform on the other side? No? Why did we take it off? What? Hey, Quentin, you dumbass! You fucking idiot! Well, my disguise worked. Time to take it off in front of the people who I tricked. Just to really rub it in.
Got a new loop. Human music. Oh.
Oh, door key. Great. A key found in the security room. Thanks. Unreal. Absolutely fucking... I'm in awe of this. As hellish as this has been, I am thankful that I now know these new lows. I could not have imagined a game of this era being this bad. This is absolutely the worst fucking video game we've played on this show. Now we're even more of the way through it. Early, it was just speculative when we said it, but at this point, I think it's fucking safe to say. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, this is funny bad. I'm glad we're playing this. This is absolutely a worthwhile thing to have voted on. I'm so glad we have the ability to play this, thanks to Big P Emu and Richard Whitehouse. This is a curio, a relic, something that I will cherish, but absolutely unequivocally one of the least designed video games, one of the most ill-conceived, poorly implemented, borderline unplayable, absolutely zero respect for a player's time. Fascinating games we've played. Oh my god, tell me this is just a dead end.
No, it's not a dead end.
Of course not.
Not quite. No, this one actually makes a little bit of sense. Hang on. Keep going through your items.
Map of the energy chamber, door key, stopwatch, sewers, bottle.
Okay.
We're missing an item, aren't we? Wait.
Yeah. Oh, no, we're not. There it goes. I love if you look at the shadow. Oh.
Ah! What? That's not... What?
That's how it works.
We could have just kicked it open! What? I was wondering why we still had the crowbar, and every other item we've used in the game, like, vaporizes the second we use it, but we kept the crowbar around. Did we miss something? Like, we didn't get any items out of that room, did we?
Yeah, I'm not sure why we did that. That's what the long play does.
Did they pick
Okay,
up an
so-
item at any point in that room, or did they just...
Let me double check.
I'm just gonna go through the room again.
Well, I
How
I
funny
know
would it be if I need to put the
after
uniform
this-
on to go through
I know
the room
after
again?
yeah. Well, I know after this. Oh, you did pick up a key, didn't you? Off one of the guards.
Maybe. Let me put the
Yeah.
uniform on again.
Oh wow.
They're all dead! There's no one on the other side of this fucking door! Morons! Fools!
Blip, 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 blip.
Oh my god, they did respawn them!
Yeah.
They respawned them just so that cutscene would make sense! Oh my god, we might be dead though. Because they have us stun locked. Oh, that's right, the rubber chicken
Yeah,
has a
back
backwards attack. There is actually use
Yeah.
for it. Of course, you're not gonna have items to pick up because they're.
Okay, so I'm guessing the understanding is if you try to go through the door you came in from, that wouldn't work.
Oh, let's see.
So I'm
I'm a quick save in case we actually do need to be here. Yep. Even though
Why?
this
Who
is
knows?
this is the hallway you walk through, they show it off in all its glory in the 3D cutscene.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, hold on.
Slam Jam Ray in chat is confirming that the music is being emulated correctly here.
What is this backdrop supposed to be? What room are they looking in at? There's a platform over there of some sort, and it's this black
wait.
void. What is this supposed to be overlooking? Did they forget to add the background there? Did they forget to add something that was actually overlooking in the background?
I'm starting to think that. It more looks like you were just literally seeing out of bounds there.
Well, there's no such thing as out of bounds in a pre-rendered game. Like, I mean, I guess there is technically. You could get outside the coordinates of the game.
Like of the original 3D stuff of this before they, flat rendered it. Because like that little bit of walkway you could see just looked like it was attached to the wall and nothing else. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure you come in here, one of these guards dropped that key you picked up.
Okay. So nothing else we need to do in this room that looks like it could be very important. That we could probably, like, get on the cameras. If this was like a real video game, or there'd probably be like a scene where like get on the cameras and walk Ramirez through where to plant the bombs, or shut the security cameras off so that your friends don't get discovered, or something, anything.
If you remember that overhead camera view where there's like the T-shaped junction, that's where you need to head back to now.
Up here. Oh wait, no, this is the wrong way.
Yeah, you want to go back to the pipes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that looks like the Final Fantasy camera view I was on about. So I am gonna skip ahead and just see what they actually go and do.
Well, I think I know. I think I have an idea. I know you mentioned that there was like a door and a camera cut that we missed or whatever, but I think...
Oh, okay. You remember there was that big door you saw that had the
Mm-hmm.
panel next to it with the red tubes?
That's where we use the 2 keys we've picked up from the bonus rooms here, from the... Folks, I want to take this moment while we're suffering through these screens to thank folk who are tuning in live, watching this in real time. And, thank folk also watching it in full on YouTube. Folk who watch this stuff at all. If this is your way of vicariously experiencing this game and not playing it for yourself, I completely understand. But I would also urge you that if you consider yourself a bad game connoisseur, to just... You need to feel what this feels like. You need to feel how we feel.
Yeah,
to some extent.
Okay, go down from here.
Yeah, towards the center.
Yep.
Because this is special.
Oh yeah, it's really hard to describe how off the movement and the combat feels. And it's also, you have to break muscle memory because it's very easy to mash buttons when you're trying to get through parts and you realize, oh, that breaks
cancels
the
every
combat.
animation. You need to hold down the buttons with determination, with intention.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I can't stress enough when that fan cutscene happens, and Quinn or whatever his name is, kept walking. I'd let go of the controller long before then. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah.
This is like a shitty Terminator theme cover.
It is, yeah.
We should talk about our love of bad covers of music. Just so there's something to talk about here. I love finding bad video game music remixes. One of my favorites is this truly terrible guitar cover of the Escape theme from Snake's Revenge.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
If there's a cutscene here, I'll grab a link to it.
Yeah, there's a cutscene coming up. It's not a video game one, but there's a UK like metal alt theme magazine that had an Iron Maiden tribute cover album in the like late 2000s, early 2010s.
Oh, hold on.
And oh yeah.
This is...
I love this music. Oh, he's doing the dials!
He is. I don't recall this from the episode at all. This might be from a different episode. Might be mixing and matching footage here to put their narrative together.
Amazing. Just watch a guy run around for a while.
Angus, stay out of this, you old fool.
Okay, that was definitely a major cut.
Wow, that did not go well at all. That did that sucked for that Jeditor. By the way, here's the link to that Snake's Revenge cover. Bookmark that, cherish it.
Yeah, but I don't remember the name of this. I have to look it up. But yeah, it's an Iron Maiden tribute album where they got a bunch of bands to do covers of Iron Maiden songs, and there was this band that did this like slow, soulful acoustic cover of "Run to the Hills." It's one of the worst covers I've ever heard. Like,
you need to listen to the Homefront album that is like remixes of metal songs or like covers of metal songs by like metalcore and emo bands that just straight up sucks.
I think it's like that similar territory. Like it's somewhere in between like emo and kind of that like stained, like I don't know what you would call it, but like the new metal that was all really broody. It's like it was halfway in between that.
Oh my god, this dude's pathfinding. Look at this. He can't turn around because he needs to walk in a full circle to turn around. He can't stand in place. So he's just going to keep bumping into these walls as he goes in the wrong direction. Oh my god. How do you fuck this up?
Yeah,
how do you not playtest this and realize this?
Oh, Louise PSE confirms that was from episode 3, that cutscene. And yeah, people in the earlier were speculating in chat about testing and testers. I think this is from the era where you didn't have a specific testing department. You made the game, the guy programmed it, knows how to play the game, so they play through it.
Oh my god, there's someone shooting. I heard gunshots before, but...
Yes, you are being shot, yeah.
Wow, she's beautiful.
Turn around.
Okay. I guess you're not being shot here. Oh, there's that big chamber.
Just...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I can hear the gunshots. They're just whiffing from whatever distance they're at.
It's not like the music is like making them blend in or anything.
I want to see if there's anything on the other side before we commit to that path and taking unavoidable damage by the gunners. Yeah, because look, there's more stuff.
Oh,
over there.
okay.
Let me also eat some more food.
I like, it's a minor thing we didn't mention, but I like how you pick up bottles that don't specify what's actually in them.
Grog.
Like, is it grog? Is it wine? Is it those energy drinks from Silent Hill, the health drinks? Who
What do
knows?
the Scots drink? What's the Scots' favorite drink? Might be a whiskey
I'm trying
country.
to think. Maybe. I'm trying to think if Guinness is like more popular there or Ireland. Oh, got a message from Tradon in the chat. Been looking for a bit and trying to figure out why Final Fantasy VII would work with massive areas like this, but this game can't. And I think I got it. The running speed in this game is the walking speed in Final Fantasy VII. That's a big part of it. Also, when you're in the field, that game runs at 60 FPS, and there's no you don't do combat on them, and also, the camera cuts are loading screens in that, so you don't have to worry about navigation. That's how you do fixed camera angles without the tank controls. Is you just have panning backgrounds, and then you one hit kill there.
Also, there's not just like endless hallways in Final Fantasy VII connecting every room of significance.
Yeah.
It's every screen in that game has at least some fucking significance, has some purpose.
Yeah. No, you gotta play Remake for the extra hallways they added in.
Oh, lock code 3, 3, 2, 1. The blue bar is at 1.
1. Yeah.
And that's code 3, so I'm assuming that there's going to be more of these rooms with more screens showing more information that we need to theoretically jot down.
Yeah, I've wrote something down that hopefully...
Now, there's a guy with a gun in this room, as established earlier, but I think I can actually get to him from this side. Assuming he doesn't shoot me to death from a mile away like happened in the canyon. Yeah, no, there's no hitting him. Look at him. Yeah, we can't use our gun. Our gun doesn't reach that far. I'll try it.
Yeah. Hang on, let me try and find that specific... Okay, yeah, this is a randomized puzzle as well. I'm checking. Nope, the long play just runs past this guy. I think.
Yeah, the guns are worthless. The guns are absolutely fuck all
actually,
worthless.
no, he tries to run past him. Oh no, yep. He literally just damage boosts past him.
How do I open this door? Do we still have a key left over? Why did I think that would work? Silly me. Any other keys? Anything else of... Maybe we use the crowbar. Who's to say?
Let me see. I'm trying to figure out where the main... Okay. So
oh my god, of course we can only walk up the steps, by the way. So now we're just, like... basically inviting him to shoot us. By going up this staircase.
I want to check something, actually. Hold on.
Oh my god, I actually got the gun to work.
Wow. We've officially one-upped the long play now, because they never do that in the long play.
Consult this playthrough for all your official needs.
Yeah. So, I believe the main door is that big UFO-shaped weird thing, but we've got to find the 3 rooms that have the code for the end. Unless you just want to brute force it.
No. We're one-upping the long play here, right? So we've gotta... Oh, is that a piece of cheese just sitting out in the open? It sure is.
Yummy floor cheese.
Oh, that's right. This is this way. Where were the other security offices?
They're all along this fin. Like, you'll go up some stairs and then you'll go down others. Oh, I'm Headful asking if any of the enemies in this area have given healing items. I want to say no. I think we've only ever just found them.
I'm gonna drop
At
this
this
gun,
point.
by the way, since it's empty, and we still have a couple more.
Oh, yeah.
Anything else we can drop here? I mean, there's probably lots we can drop. But, no, wait, hold on. There we go. Just to try and get some use out of these. Okay. Are all the security offices, like, in this zone? Do I need to backtrack at all?
Yeah. No, they are all here.
Well, I don't know where they would be then.
Okay.
Because I saw the one door I couldn't get through. The one in the back left, the center left, is the one that we went to already.
Okay, if you've been to that one already, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Go.
I see this door here, but I can't get in. Wait, hold on. Pause. No.
No. I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss any. Okay. Oh, he goes up. Goes to that back one first. Okay.
It's not the key.
Okay, yeah. Go up these stairs.
Right, this is where the guy would shoot us to death.
Yeah.
If not for my crack shot. Fuck this.
Yeah. Yeah. Go forward here.
Okay, so we can do more in this direction. There is more to be done in this way. Okay.
And then down these stairs. I think.
Nope.
No. Hang on, sorry. Let me look at this video again.
Again, why did all these environments need to be so fucking spacious?
No, sorry. Yeah, go left here.
Why did this room need to be miles long?
The only thing I can totally speculate without actually having enough knowledge is just that the game speed was way higher when they were making it. Like, you could book it way faster than this. Even then, it's not a good reason.
Floor bread.
Yeah, so you get the floor bread. Okay, and then there's a set of stairs. If you keep heading forward, you can go down and you'll see the opening. Oh, Taika Chimera speculating. This is the early version of, see that mountain? You could go there. You could climb it.
Tell me.
I mean, yeah, the only thing I can think, the other thing is just, they thought it was impressive, the idea of, oh, we're modeling this whole area, and you can go to all, it's all these places.
I don't know
get
what's
why
covering when I
sometimes-
hit. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a
'Cause you did
fucking
get one
mystery.
hit there.
I have to eat so the next shot doesn't kill me. I'm eating between shots right now, which is probably wasting health. This is probably not the... Okay. Whew.
Yay! Oh, and this fucking inventory as well.
Yeah, dog shit.
They can't have anything stack or anything. I'd be curious if there's actually a theoretical limit. Like, if you were somehow able to pick up every item without
that's
having
it
to heal.
for that's it for our healing items, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I was
do.
wasteful. Let's
And we
use the
can't eat
sword
the
of the
chicken.
MacLeods. Yeah. I've got a couple bullets left in case there's another turret gunner. Not that we'll live
Yeah.
through that, but... On guard, bitch. Okay. Let's check the Lock code 2 is
Okay.
2.
Okay, let me write that down.
Aren't you loving this new music, by the way? Isn't this a wonderful track that we're listening to?
I guess it was the same color. They were both blue looking, right? Was it the same color? Is it color coded?
It appeared to be. Hold on. Oh, there's a bottle there. There's a bottle there. Turn around, Quentin. Come on. Let's get that bottle. And just fucking use it. There's no point in stashing that stuff to use it later. Just use it straight away. All right, let's run to the other end of this.
Yeah. Yep, keep going this way.
Oh my god. How far away is this?
Psych! You have to take the stairs! But you did get cheese, so...
Actually, you know what? We don't need to go this way, because this is just a...
Yeah. No. Take those stairs.
Wait, really?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure these are not the... That the other side of this is not where we were before? Because there's a dead body over there from the gunner we shot to death.
I'm... At this point, I'm following the long play.
Oh my god, yeah, this is a new camera angle. It's really hard to tell, but this is a new camera angle. This is, in fact...
Yeah.
Oh my god, there's another gunner.
Yep. Okay, then you're definitely on the right track. God, if I was really struggling, you could argue like, oh, this repetitive look of this area represents like the cold kind of logic way of thinking of the villain. But don't do that, because that's not what's going on here.
I was gonna say the cold, cruel minds of the developers, who are evil, by the way. I'm convinced at this point that they live lives of sin.
Let's get that last code.
Cheese break first.
Oh, yeah.
Red 2, 1. Alright, that's our 3. So now all we have to do is not get shot to death on the way out. Dum bum ba bum 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 ba bum. I don't even. Maybe there's like a piece of cheese up there. If we go up those stairs, I don't want to find out.
Let me just, paying attention. Okay, getting all my directions sorted for the next section. Oh, I see, yep. Okay. It's a lot, but I have it all mapped out.
Just let us run, game. And leisurely walk. Also, we are not even making contact with the steps at this point.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me. There's a reason. Resident Evil, they just
script it.
They just
did say,
yeah.
And you're on the steps, and you're up the steps.
Yeah, and then it wasn't until 3 where they made that little animation for it.
This is empty. I think I dropped this gun.
Mm-hmm.
I pressed A to reject it, and it swapped to... Oh, no, I must have pressed C by accident. That's what I did. Okay. Wait, this is the wrong way, right? Or right way?
No. You want to go to this big bit, yeah.
So, towards the thing, you mean?
I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah, I mean, that was the direction we're headed. It was just... When the camera angles are so fucking wonderful here.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, past that guy.
Wait, then it just takes us down these...
Let me go back a bit.
Oh my god, I know where I need to go, and I don't like it, because it means we have to go past that fucking gunner again. Tiger Chimera says, those stands have ladders. Can you climb up those
Yeah.
guys? No. I would assume not.
Yeah, it is past that guy, yeah.
Fuck me. You know what this feels like with this drum beat in particular? The scene from Monty Python, The Holy Grail, where the knight is charging the guards and they have the drum loop every time and he's just like a mile away and they're just watching
It makes
him.
no progress. Yeah.
Yep.
There he is. Yeah, serpentine.
Ugh. This is the final boss, as far as I'm concerned.
Alright, here we go.
And I think we're out of his range now, thank God. Oh, is this the panel here?
Yep, that's the panel, yeah. So
Code
this was
1,
one.
red 1.
Yep.
2, 1.
Yeah, 1 is probably empty.
Nothing. Yeah, 1 is empty, so that just means
Yeah.
go to green, press it once. Huh.
Tuckerman said, was it red 2? Mate, Well, let's check.
Ugh. Let's see if 2 means 2, like this. Oh my God. We literally know how this is meant to be solved.
I swear we wrote that down right.
Two, 2, 1 says Tiger Chimera. Didn't we try that? Oh, let me try it like this. 2, 2, and then 1 like this. There we go.
Okay.
Again, bad signposting by the game. Bad description of... Even though they visually indicated, it still sucks.
Yeah, yeah.
I know there's people coming for us. I can hear their footsteps. I'm gonna quick save here. Let's try Sword of the MacLeods first, and if I have any trouble whatsoever, I'm switching back to the rubber chicken.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't even know how I hit that guy.
Oh! Ew! This is a real game.
I'm beginning to doubt it. This might just be a prank and a long con that someone played on us.
Alright, well, you go through that.
Invented provenance for this supposedly 30-year-old game as a goof.
Yeah, now can you get through the rest of the game, though?
Well, if I got this music to spur me on, if I've got this incredible soundtrack to light my way, I bet that's where we use the security key, and I bet that's the end of the game. But before that,
Come on.
I want to...
No.
Because the end of the episode is you free the Dundees and you get the fuck out. And the episode just kind of abruptly ends as they mourn the loss of that one Jeditor.
Come on. No.
I at least want to see these other ends of the... I legit haven't watched the endings of this game. I haven't watched the long play. I wanted to go through this playthrough blind, and I've done that for the most part. Aside from the guidance that I've been given as an absolute necessity to get through this. But something tells me this game is so shitty it's going to end right here and now.
What? Come on. No way.
Oh, 2, 2, 1 says Tiger Chimera. Didn't we try that? Oh, let me try it like this. 2, 2, and then 1 like this. There we go.
2, 2, 1
Oh, wait. And ha-ha! Oh, hee, I'm a traitor. Oh, that's right. Ramirez planted bombs in this version of it. And the sound of a car engine dying. Incredible. Of an engine failing to turn over. Oh no, that guy.
Oh no, shaky still images.
This is actually not supposed to be the explosion. That's supposed to be the effect of the janitor dying. That's not clearly conveyed, though.
Yeah.
You did it, Quentin. They're free, thanks to you.
But I could have learned so much from Mangus.
He taught
I like
you
this, like,
his most
Pink Floyd
important
guitar
lesson, MacLeod.
behind the
Once
soundtrack.
truth. If you believe in something, believe in it to the very
Remember when you were young?
Your adventure is
You shone like the sun. It's just the beginning, Cass. Oh wait, never mind. It's the end.
Let's go through this environment we loved so very much. Oh.
They're really showing off. Look, we really 3D rendered this whole place.
Oh my god. I'm saving the
Motion analysis.
You know, this might be the first time someone's beaten this game, disregarding the fact that long plays exist a bit.
Yeah.
So, you know, we gotta let these credits roll before I hit my fucking screen.
Oh, lead tester Frank Capra.
Dan McNamee? McNamee? That's not a real fucking name. That wasn't a real guy. They just made up names. Two musicians,
And
not
we
three.
Well, yeah, this is credits for the show though.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's it.
Hey! You did it! You beat the game! The land is now high.
Unfucking believable. That's it. That was
Yep,
Highlander.
that's episode 1.
Can't wait for episode 2. Let's start again. That's Game So Nice. I got to see it. Okay, there is something I want to do real quick. Assuming we still have a save in place. Assuming I didn't fuck up the hard save situation. Let's load game, and I think game 2. This should put us in the Easter egg room. Or maybe not.
Quite.
Do I have a soft save that is the... No, I overwrote it. I was gonna see if what the teleporters did in the Easter egg room, where exactly they dropped you off and stuff, but
Oh,
no.
yeah.
That's alright. Folk can figure that out on their own time if they're so inclined. Here we are. You first.
Oh, sure.
Final thoughts on this.
I think we've talked about in the past about games that exist as examples, as like here's how not to do things, and this is, if you want to see how to not do an adventure game, I think this hits all the marks, like every single way you could have failed. Like in terms of the gameplay, in terms of the progression, how progress is communicated to the player. Yeah, and yeah, as Tycho Mayer says in chat, how not to do fixed camera angles in games. Like I'll still defend that as a viable video game medium, but if you want to see, how do you do it wrong? It's this. Like it's this. Obviously, Crow Sea of Angels comes to mind. This is probably slightly worse than that in terms of the camera angles, but it's close. It's in that area. Yeah, baffling. It's like it's weird. It doesn't feel unfinished. Like it feels like a complete game, at least if what they set out to be the first episode. But so many elements feel like first pass ideas as opposed to like anything that was designed and iterated through, you know? Like the choice of camera angles, the how many areas like they extend out where you could have just like, oh, we'll cut here and we'll do like a fade to black to skip the player forward, and the puzzle design and the audio. I still want to know what's up with the music. I I I can't figure out why it's just these weird short samples of these like abstract drum loops and synth ambient noises. It's so weird. But yeah, if this, you know, obviously this is a genre that you don't really see much anymore, like adventure games in this style, like the true adventure game. But this is still probably worth playing just to see, like, this is how to do everything wrong. Like, you can put out a product that is outside of, I think, one example, at least technically sound, and I mean technically as in, um, you know, there's not much game-breaking bug stuff. You know, there was that one time you got stuck in some collision,
Yeah.
but it, you know, it wasn't freezing. Like the performance got a little spotty, but it barely ran at a good frame rate normally anyway. So it's sound in that sense, but all the design stuff, it's just yeah, it's every way you could go wrong, and in more ways as well beyond that. And yeah, Frank obviously, is there any redeeming quality to the game? Again, it you have to put it in such a specific context of you don't have a PC. This is your first time seeing a game doing this pre-rendered cutscene stuff, and the only console you have is a Jaguar, and you haven't bothered with the PlayStation 1 yet. These visuals might be kind of impressive.
One more caveat: you also need to be legally blind, and then the graphics are wonderful.
Go that far. I'm not saying wonderful, but like compared to if you'd seen other stuff. But again, I think that's such a narrow view you would have to have.
If you've never played a video game before, this will wow you. The power of technology.
And yeah, it doesn't make up for the actual game either. It, as much as some people will push that argument of like, well, you know, it might not play good and have a terrible story, but it looks good. It's like, well, that doesn't.
It may electrically shock you every 5 minutes, but you know, the graphics are impressive for their time. Is that your final
I
answer?
think so. Like, I could go in real deep specifics about the way the movement feels, but it is in a way simple in how it's bad. It's just every wrong decision you could make about the move and like how much momentum there is to it, like how overcomplicated the control is, when all you really need to do is find the one attack that like stun locks enemies, like how the range combat works. There's a real aim in the amount of times they place enemies off screen that I cannot perceive as any other thing than a fuck you, because it happens multiple times where off-screen enemies will shoot you and there's no way to know they're coming. It's either a fuck you or it's a, well, we have to make the game longer, because if you know what you're doing, you can beat it in like 2 hours.
Yeah, no, I think that's accurate and fair. I guess that means it's my turn, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me start by saying that the purpose of the Say Something Nice button has been historically in this show, the redeem for that, you know, so that even when we're being negative Nancy's, that we can at least like pause, contemplate for a moment, and find something nice to say. And I think it's an important function. I think it's a vital function for the show and our message about how even in bad games, there's always something redeeming. There's some novel idea that you can find something nice to say about bad games, and in most cases. This is the case where we were struggling the hardest to find anything nice to say. And that is just a reflection of how this is, as has been raised, has been mentioned, an example of a game where every decision made was the wrong decision. It is truly emblematic of that. I really don't think there's a single conscious decision made in terms of design here that was done in favor of the players, that was done with any consideration for other people playing the game. I think like the nicest thing you could say about this game what I think they were really trading in, what I think they thought would carry this game, the team at Lore Design, was the zoomed out shots. They thought the scale would be impressive. They thought that having those big open areas, at some point during their planning for it, they thought big open areas, we can boast that our game is huge. That these environments stretch for miles. And think about it, like, and it's you traveling the world as a one-man band, a one-man army, and you're trekking through it and taking in the sights, and it's 3D graphics. It's the beauty of 3D, pre-rendered, albeit, but that means we can just cram that much more detail in, and then they didn't cram detail into it, and they didn't put color depth into it, then they didn't populate those screens, and so on and so forth, and all the reasons why that doesn't work. But I mean, if you're a moron, if you're incredibly susceptible to marketing lines and to the illusion of gameplay, then yeah, those huge environments, you cover so much ground in this game. Isn't it wonderful? It's incredible. It really, truly is the worst game we played on stream. It's not the worst video game of all time. Let me make that clarifying point here, that I've played worse games than this in my time. Games that have either been more frustrating or just like piss-take games that they don't have any respect for your time. Like a Hong Kong 97, right? You could say is a worse game in terms of being objectionable and so on and so forth. That's a whole other kettle of fish, can of worms, whatever the idiom there is. And, then there's probably other like commercially released games that if I really were to dig deep, I could find something. You could say like a Big Rigs, but at least Big Rigs is like fun. At least it's funny. I guess this game is funny. I guess ultimately between the what felt like hours of just aimlessly wandering and running around in circles and getting lost in environments, it was broken up. There were intermittent moments of levity when cutscenes were kind of goofy, or just like the weight of the entire situation that we find ourselves in like landed squarely on our shoulders and sort of knocked us back a bit, and that it's a struggle to talk about this game. And I understand that it was in obscurity for so long because it came out for this fucking peripheral for a console people already didn't own, and then the peripheral barely worked in the Atari Jaguar CD. So like the depths of obscurity when it comes to people who've been exposed to this game, much less played through all of it. And I'm glad that we did. I'm glad that we chose to do it. I'm glad that our format allows us to play through these games in full, to experience the full depth of them. So often there are games where I'll play like the first 10 or 15 minutes, and I can usually, at this stage in my life, make a pretty like quick determination as to, okay, is this a game that is worth sticking through? Is a game that I'm going to, can I see how these mechanics would evolve over time? How they can add depth over time? I can make like a reasonable assumption as to the quality of the rest of the game. And I was right with this one, where, the first sampling you get is that opening village. The gameplay doesn't really iterate much beyond that. It's basically the same thing throughout. But, the treats that you get, the rewards, are the cutscenes along the way, and the tortured logic, and just the realization of what this end product really is and amounts to. And the music, of course. The wonderful music that keeps you attentive throughout. I really do think this is a special bad game, though. I guess I'm trying to work towards some sort of conclusion here with my scattered thoughts. It's that this is one of those so bad it's wretched games, but it's still something that needs to be seen to be believed, possibly played to just understand like how bad it feels in the hand and how bad it plays. On real hardware, this would be like a nightmare, even with the quick save system, even with the ability to save anywhere. Just suffering through those loads and through that title screen every time you want to reload your save would be so tedious in and of itself. I guess that is the one saving grace, though, that it doesn't have just like checkpointed saves or something like that, some system for having to reach certain designated save rooms. That would have really put it over the top. But I feel like I've grown. I've come out of this a different person at the other end of this. not to deal too much in hyperbole, but I take for granted sometimes just how bad games can get. I'm someone who really does try to find the best in these bad games, who tries to come up with some sort of takeaway that like speaks to the conditions that developers are under, or is empathetic towards the people who make games, or otherwise try to find some sort of silver lining or some idea that I can hang on to and say, like, you know, they could have fleshed this out, or done something with this idea, and it ended up with a game that maybe had some more merit to it. But I take for granted there are some games that are just straight suck, that are just awful at every turn, that are just so ill-conceived and barely designed, barely contemplated, barely planned, that are put out into the market and exist just to scam consumers out of their hard-earned dollars, that exist just to separate fools from their money, that are purely cynical in their creation, and that have no redeeming feature whatsoever, and that just left consumers like fucking stuck holding the bag. And that's what this is. And to be a consumer in 1995 who experienced this, the amount of delusion you need to be under to convince yourself this game is anything remotely acceptable, that there's any merit or quality to this game, the comments we've gotten from people that have bent over backwards, or, you know, I'll say this, I think a lot of people have rose-tinted glasses for games in general, that whenever I see someone who comments on any of the bad games we play and says, this game's actually good, you know, there's sometimes there's merit to it, but very often people don't have actual arguments for that. They just say it's good, and they never have any, like, you know, like point to make, or anything like this part's good. Well, this may be rough, but this part...
Yeah, I have a major pet peeve with that in particular, where the way it's phrased, it's almost word for word the exact same way, especially if it's a game in a series, is, oh, I love this game, it's the first one I played.
Mm-hmm.
Or like some variation on that, like it was the first in the series, or it's the first game I brought, and it's like that's it.
And so the comments I've seen on this game have absolutely nothing except to say, like, well, it's technologically impressive, and it's not. I mean, like, again, we've gotten over this. We've done that.
And even then, like, that doesn't make the gameplay part better.
No. So what I would say,
even if you appreciate from that aspect, it's like, yeah, but then playing it's still the worst aspect, and that's how you engage with a video game.
I would just beg these people. I would beg them to actually watch this long play up to this point, this playthrough, and see the hurdles we ran into, or to play it for themselves. Again, if they love the game so goddamn much, replay it without the benefit of guide at your side, by the way. Try to remember it from 30 years ago and remember how to progress in this fucking thing. Try to recall the hours you probably spent banging your head against the console, throwing your controller against the wall, trying to actually figure out how to progress in it. Because, my God, I can't fathom, aside from someone who was just like so committed to the Atari brand and so delusional as to convince themselves that there was any, like, this game brought any sauce to the table.
Here's another hypothetical, but in a similar but different tone to that. How would someone who was a fan of the show perceive this game? Do you think it succeeds in representing what the show was?
No, I think they'd be annoyed and frustrated that it takes liberties with the plot, right? It deviates from the canon that they loved so very much in the show that sucked. I just can't imagine there's fans of the show. I'm trying to imagine the Venn diagram of A, fans of the show, or franchise as a whole, B, Atari Jaguar owners, C, Atari Jaguar CD owners, and then just what the overlap on that is. And it's two people. It's gotta be just two guys at the center there hanging out. Luis BSC points out there was no cool boomerang. Yeah, that's another thing. Quentin MacLeod's signature weapon in the show isn't the sword. It's the fucking boomerang. He has like some like Krull style boomerang that like has like spinning blades on it that he tosses and comes back to him. And they just omit that completely from the game.
Yeah.
So, you know, that'd be another thing that'd probably annoy fans of the show. Tiger Camara pointing out the show had 2 seasons, it had to be picked up for another run. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that's just some sort of scam. I feel like there's some sort of money laundering scheme is the only explanation I have for that animated show.
Yeah, because... and also that's, you know, there's also, I think people can relate to this. You go back and you think, oh, there's shows I watched because I had nothing else to do. And that's how shows would get
because it was on when I was eating breakfast before school type of shows.
And that's how they would get like 100 episodes or so.
But yeah, to bring it back to the game and my conclusions on it, if I'm not getting redundant at this point and talking in circles, this is a special one. This has really been a milestone, a banner game in the Bad Game Hall of Fame and in our time doing this thing. It was truly a test of endurance. It was a test of our ability to come up with commentary, just based on like how little happens for such long stretches of the game. I'm glad I played it. I'm glad I now have this under my belt. It's a tool in my toolkit. It's an experience that I won't soon forget. It is one that I will think back to and I will reference for the rest of my days doing this bad game shtick, because it is truly that special. And the fact it was buried in obscurity on this console that no one had access to for the most part, and just waiting to be like properly discovered. I know that Spoonie did their bit on it back in the day. I know the AVGN played it for like a minute in their Atari Jaguar CD episode, if I recall correctly. But
oh yeah, I don't even remember that.
But it's one thing to see it in highlight form. I think it's another to really experience it for yourself in full, to show it off, to show all the working that goes into to beating the game. And I hope that folk who have stuck with us have learned from it, have enjoyed our pain, have also come away with an appreciation for how bad these things can truly get. For the fact that there are some games that will run across here that we just can't defend or come up with any sort of reasoning for. And I hope we find more of them, because they make for great fodder, I think. But I also hope it didn't come across as too mean. The things I said about the developers, because for as much as I may have claimed them to be evil, to be sinners, devils on earth, to have nothing but contempt for their audience, to be morons and all that stuff, I hope that it is clear that I understand that this is not the game they wanted to make. That circumstances
and not on the
probably got in
system
the way.
they wanted to work on either.
And it's not to forgive them for their trespasses. I do think this game is unforgivable. I think the state this was released in is absolutely contemptuous towards the audience, absolutely despicable that this was a product that money was charged for. In like a just universe, this game would have never seen the light of day. Like that's how I truly feel about it. And I do truly feel that there were decisions that the developers made that were just so beyond the pale as to only be contemptuous. I think there are definitely aspects of this that were just hateful design. I stand by that. You can't land on some of the conclusions that the developers landed on here without having some measure of contempt for the player. And then, just as much of it, though, I'm sure it can be chalked up to just ignorance. I think it's equal measure in both of those. But yeah, the end product is something for the ages. There can only be one Highlander, the Last of the MacLeods. To have made this a trilogy, to have committed to the trilogy, would have been a truly world ending. Just the idea of having to play two more of these would fill me with such dread in my heart. I hope those prototypes never leak. I hope this is the last we have to see of this.
If you got those prototypes, hit me up.
And yeah, I think that's all I've got left. That's all I've got to say about that. And on that note, folks, thank you for suffering with us in this playthrough of Highlander, the Last of the MacLeods. I'm glad we got it done in 2. I couldn't imagine having to stretch this out for a 3rd episode, all that being said. Man, it feels like a weight's been lifted, too, now that it's done. I feel relieved. I did feel like a wave wash over me when that end cutscene started playing, when I knew it was over. Hey folks, if you like what you saw here tonight, consider joining our Discord server, why don't you? Discord.gg/BGHOF. It's our community of connoisseurs, where we talk about bad games and all other manner of game too. Regular hangouts, a bad game club. Hey Johnny, what's this month's bad game club game?
Yes, for the month of June, we are playing the recently featured on stream Devilish for the Sega Mega Drive / Genesis. Devilish on the Genesis.
A weird, a progression-based breakout.
Yeah, like level-based, traveling through dungeons, finding bosses. Actually, not the first in the series. I learned there's actually a game. It's actually a sequel to a Game Gear game.
No kidding. Well, it's a very
Yeah.
interesting pick for this month, and I do hope people can participate in the Bad Game Club to sample that one for themselves. And discussions will be had, and we'll have some sort of meetup or something to that effect.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And really work to make the Bad Game Club something worth joining, something we can build content around too in the future. Or we have plans. We're always planning here at the Bad Game Hall of Fame. We're enterprising individuals here. Speaking of enterprise, if you really like what you saw here tonight, you may consider financially supporting us. Pledging on Patreon, subscribing on Twitch, becoming a member on YouTube, any or all of the above will grant you access on that Discord server to a Patreon Saints channel wherein you can vote in polls. Polls like the one that determined that we play through the entirety of Highlander, The Last of the MacLeods, as a matter of fact. Make suggestions, help steer the direction of the show, and gain access to some exclusive content, VODs for our Casual Monday series, exclusive episodes of the podcast at Bad Game Hall of Fame coming soon. We're working on a portal so that people who don't necessarily want to be on the Discord but subscribe, pledge, are members, all will gain access to the same repository for that content. I do want to mention that as far as the polling is concerned, we do need to come up with another Patreon poll because our Thursdays are Patreon determined games, so we need to think about that. That's a note. That's a reminder to you, to me, that we need to think about that once we wrap this up.
You. Yeah.
So, please consider supporting us. I mean, God, we suffered. We played through Highlander, The Last in the Clouds for you. I feel like that's worthy of all the money, personally. If you can't financially support us, we completely understand. If you still want to help the show out in some capacity, consider sharing the episodes, our VODs from YouTube with folk that you know. If you go to our YouTube channel, you'll find a suggested viewing playlist that has 20 hand-picked episodes that we think make for good onboarding onto the show of ours. Or maybe, someone who's a big Highlander mark who might get a kick out of seeing this rightfully forgotten Atari Jaguar CD game played in full. So you might like them this playthrough. Who's to say? We leave it to your discretion, dear viewers. Okay. See about a raid. I'm looking.
Oh, do you want to mention upcoming streams?
Oh, yeah, I always... If I did it out of sequence, I should start with the stream schedule. Well, we have a grand total of one thing planned. So, it's Curse Kart Racers. Actually, two things. I'm sorry. Tomorrow, Friday, June 6th, Johnny Bag's Not So Pro Skater Episode 2, covering weirdo versions of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Please look forward to it. There's some oddball stuff in that episode, to be sure. Saturday, June 7th will be Curse Kart Racers Episode 12, the makeup episode, wherein we cover games that we missed in previous episodes, since we're doing it in chronological order. So some games that are chronologically out of sequence that we still feel are fit to cover now that we know about them. Monday will be our Casual Monday show, as it always is, but nothing solid planned for Tuesday, June 10th, or Thursday, June 12th at this current juncture. But there will be shows. We'll come up with something. We always do. There you go. I'm back to looking at potential raids here. Hey, the Retro Pals, they're doing a PC Gaming Lightning Round, a patron request gauntlet. Hey, this was a patron request. That's as good a segue, as clean a segue as any, isn't it? So let the Retro Pals know that we just suffered through Highlander, The Last of the MacLeods, why don't you? Tell Danny to play it. Make them suffer.
Yeah, spread the good word.
Yeah, that's going to do it for us here at the Bad Game Hall of Fame. Barring, am I forgetting anything? I hope not. I think not. My brain needs a rest after that one, to be sure. I have been Cassidy MacLeod. Did I do that one the first time?
Yeah,
well,
definitely.
Shit. I've been...
And I've been still defending tank controls. It's really hard. I'm still committed though.
Yeah, this really did. This must have tested you in that capacity.
Yeah.
It's really tested your faith.
Yeah.
But I hope you...
Shaking my foundation, but I'll pull through.
All right, that's good to hear. Bye!
Good night, everybody.